So, Alwin, thank you for joining me. Just had a few questions for you heading into the much awaited autonomous vehicles event. So, I guess just to kick it off right off the bat, what are some major challenges that you guys experienced over at WEPod concerning the implementation of your autonomous bus, and was there something done that addressed and solved any of these challenges that you encountered?
Yeah, a lot. I will tell you. Yeah, there were a lot of problems.
Right.
Started with the project in June 2014, and then we asked ourselves why aren't we driving with the Google car in Holland? So we called Google and asked them, is it possible for you to drive with your self-driven bus at that time in Holland? And they said, no, it's not possible, not yet. And then we thought, okay, we can do something different, and we started to do the project, WEpods project. That was June 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Within a year and a half, no, within half a year, we found out that we could drive with the Ligier EZ10, and that's our vehicle which we are now riding on. It's from a French company, but Ligier car could only detect with his four radars on each corner of the vehicle. And you've got some blind spots on the vehicle, especially here is a blind spot, here is a blind spot. If you put your leg here, it will drive.
Okay.
Stop for you. So that are some difficulties only with this vehicle. It was also hard to find a vehicle which can be produced in only 1 year, because we wanted to have a vehicle in 1 year. So from, let's say, December 2014, we want to have it on the public road on December 2015. We want to have it in 1 year.
Right.
What makes it unique now? It's on the public road. So it's interfering with all the other traffics, like bikes, like people who are walking, pedestrians, and other cars. It's got no steering wheel, of course, no brake pedal, and we also want to have it without a driver in it. So fully autonomous car.
Right. Have you encountered anything as far as social acceptance? How is the bus received?
In the beginning, we did some evenings with the locals, and we asked them. We told them about the project and that there's going to be a car in their streets, which is new, and they were all very positive about it. But now, when the car is actually on the streets, people are asking a lot of questions. Does this car stops for animals, for example, for rabbits or cats or dogs? And we are still in a testing phase, so we don't know. And that's very hard to tell them. But you see that people are also curious, but on the other hand, also afraid. I also experienced it by myself. When you're in the vehicle, you hope that the vehicle will stop for everything.
Right.
But you don't know for sure. So that's the hardest part.
Has your experience actually being in the vehicle, have you found that it has done a lot of the things that you kind of expected it to do, as far as being able to stop maybe with unexpected traffic or...
Yeah, we had some problems with GPS positioning.
Okay.
Due to the 3D mapping in combination with the GPS and the trees which are moving by the wind. If the trees are moving by the wind, the car thinks that is a new object in the 3D map.
Interesting.
Then it will stop. On the other hand, the GPS signal and the trees, and especially the wet trees, they are disturbing the GPS signal, so that's also a problem. So you don't have a very good localization of the vehicle. So that was a part which we solved now with eBay software. Now, if you look at the route, we are now driving. We're starting at the station, a central station in the central part of Holland, and this is almost some sort of a rural area. So there are not a lot of cars. yeah, it looks like this. So you see a lot of bikes, you see some cars. Yeah, it's
Not very busy, probably, right?
uh,
Not too much traffic on the roads.
probably 50,000 inhabitants.
Okay.
So something like that. And we want to drive it on the Wageningen University, on the terrain itself. And on this track, we made two major modifications. One for the traffic lights on two positions, on this position and on this position. And we have some troubles here. Our car is driving 25 kilometers per hour. I don't know how much it in miles it, but it's driving 25 kilometers per hour, and on this point the speed is 50 kilometers per hour.
Okay. Interesting.
So we're solving it with a steward on board,
Right.
which is then watching the traffic situation.
Now, will the bus need anything special as far as infrastructure is concerned? Do you foresee it maybe having its own lane, or will it just continuously go with the regular traffic?
The flow, with no separate lanes on the public road, and we only build in a control room.
Okay.
Someone is watching over the vehicle from out the control room.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so we have a steward on board. There's a control room monitoring also. And yeah, okay. Some traffic lights. Now, why we do it is not interesting for you. This is the technique. So we build in we made a digital map, a 3D map. I will put you away. So here you are. We have some GPS signaling. We have a camera, a radar, and a lidar, in combining with a control room, and that's the whole system which is now built in. And I will show you some pictures. Oh yeah. And if you want a technical specification, so we built it. We bought an EasyMile vehicle. That has only a safe stop and 4 lasers in it. And this is the additions we put in. So it's some more landmarking positioning, new cameras, new radars and ultrasonics, new lasers we build in, 11 computers, an interior camera, an exterior camera, Wi-Fi pay communication with the traffic lights, a lot of batteries, because if you have so much computers, you need a lot of batteries. And for the Dutch regulations, so the company which approve if we are safe enough to drive on the public road, they say that we also need a heater, we need belts, we need a roller chair fixation, wipers, a third brake, and that sort of things.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, what was the budget for a project like this?
3.4 million. So it's 1 million for 2 vehicles, it's 1 million for all the additions, and it's 1 million for a budget for to rent knowledge from different organizations.
Okay.
These are the modifications on the vehicle itself. Oh, here you can see also the third brake light, the information panel for the people around the vehicle. But here you can see also the built-in new technologies. So here's the camera, here's a radar. Around this corner there's an EBO, and there's a normal laser. So the difference between the normal laser and the EBO laser is that the EBO laser can detect objects and give meaning to the objects.
Okay.
So the laser knows what sort of an object is in front of the vehicle.
Right. And could that possibly solve the problem with it's mistaken for the trees as being
yes.
something? Exactly.
That was the addition we made later on.
Right.
So you know something more about the technique.
Yeah, little trial and error stuff. So you're getting much further along with this, and I'm sure. When do you really expect it to start hitting full force? On the roads, and where?
Full force, not yet.
Right.
I think in 2020 we solved the problems with fog. We solved the problem with rain. We solved the problems. Yeah, we have a lot of problems to solve.
And if I could just ask you, what are you looking forward to most about the autonomous vehicles event yourself, and what do you also hope that people gain from your speaking session at the event?
Yeah, I hope to meet a lot of new people from especially the USA side, um, because yeah, from our perspective, from the European perspective, we don't know exactly how far you are at this point with autonomous driving.
Hmm.
So I want to learn more about that, and I hope that people will learn from my presentations that it is possible to make your dreams come true, even when you work at a government. And
It's a good quote.
yeah, and if you endure, uh, you will have eventually the car on the public road. And even for us, it was possible. Within 2 years, we made it possible, and the car is on the public road now. And we are testing. And there's a lot of risk, and of course, it's very hard to reach to this point. But I hope that people will see that it is possible.
Okay, great, Alwin. Well, I know you have a hard stop, so I just want to thank you very much for sitting down with me for this interview, and I hope we really get to speak again soon.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.